Hello, my stamping friends. Patty Edwards here with Why Stamp with Patty. And I thought I'd pop on and do one more card using the technique with the blending brushes and the Simply Leaves um, bundle. So I did one a few days ago, and if you missed it, you can check it out on my YouTube channel. But this card, I use the I'm grateful for your kindness, which is a sentiment that's in here. But I thought it would also make a great male birthday card. Maybe you would leave the bow off. I don't know. It's gingham. It's cute. And so this time I'm just going to use more of the green and yellow tones. And I'm using the textured tree ring 3D embossing folder. Let's see if I can, I don't know if you can see that. It kind of looks like when you cut down a tree, it has the rings in there, and it makes a great background, especially for this card, which has leaves on it. So it's pretty quick, so it'll kind of be a fast Friday card. And I'm going to tell you what you need for it. So I used Very Vanilla as my card base, and it's just cut at 5.5 by 8.5. And then we're going to score that at 4 1/4. And then we're going to go ahead and crease that. So that'll be our card base. And then I have a couple more pieces of Very Vanilla. One that I'm going to use to do the blending brush technique. And that one is about 2 3/4 by about, oh, I don't know, let's see. It is, yeah, 2 3/4 by about 5.5. And then I also have another piece that I'm going to use for the sentiment. Now, I've done some cards in my videos using this Marius tags, and I did it all through July. I did, the Christmas in July. But I really want to point out that this set is more than just Christmas. I have been loving using these tags on other cards that aren't, for Christmas. So it has all these, there's 5 different tags, and then it does have some Christmas, accessories. But if you, don't want the stamp set, the die set is really still a good deal. And I'll just show you. These were some of the cards that I made. So I used 3 tags on this one. This one on the bottom, I put that tag there. So I like to show you how you can mix and use your stamp sets and die sets, for more than just what maybe the title of it says. It's not just for Christmas, so you can use those tags anytime. Okay, so we have our vanilla pieces, and then I also have a piece of Mossy Meadow here that that's what we're going to use in our embossing folder. And this is 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to have a bigger border. So I already ran that through the embossing folder, so you can see has those tree rings, nice texture, and that's just going to be a layer on the front of our card. So pretty, this card's pretty quick and easy, and we like quick and easy. Sometimes I just like to make, the bare bones of some cards and have them ready to go when I need something in a hurry. So you could make some of these, and have some leaves, and then add your tag or your sentiment later. And then you're ready to go when you need a quick card. All right, so this time, let's put this here, and I have a piece of paper, and a couple of blending brushes. And like I said, we have blending brushes. They come in a pack of 3, and we have, these are the large ones. Last time I used the smaller ones, and this time I'm going to use the ones I've kind of designated as yellow and green. You can rinse these out and let them dry. I do it every once in a while, but most of the time I kind of just rub it on my paper to kind of get most of that ink off of there before, I always kind of test before I get started. But if you kind of designate it for a certain color, you don't really, have to wash them every time. Now, I am going to start with some Daffodil Delight. And this is just going to be a base color, kind of that will come through, that gives it a little bit of brightness. My main 2 colors are going to be Mossy Meadow and our Golden Glow. But I kind of like to put something as a base color that kind of gives you some depth in that color. Now, I'm going to take some Golden Glow next, and I usually do start with the lighter colors first. We're going to go back, and now we're going to get a little bit of a deeper color, because Golden Glow is, well, golden, and Daffodil Delight is kind of a really nice bright yellow. But you can kind of see that you get a more variation when you do a couple colors that are in the same category. And the reason why I start with light first is sometimes if you're doing, a darker color, it might get onto your lighter color brush. So, but the ink does dry pretty quickly, so it doesn't happen too often. Now I'm going to take some Mossy Meadow and Old Olive. So Old Olive is going to be a little bit brighter than the Mossy Meadow. And we're going to start from off the paper and just going to add just a little bit of that Old Olive first. And then the main color I am going to use is the Mossy Meadow, because this time I want it to be more, not fall colors, but maybe right before fall there might be a little bit of change in the leaves. So I'm just going to go over this with the Mossy Meadow, and I'm putting some good pressure on the paper. So I like to either put 2 fingers or my thumb and my index finger on the side to get that pressure. And, I make it darker in a few areas and lighter in another area. And then you can always go back and add color once you punch out or what you're using this for. So I'm going to take the punch that is part of this bundle, and I'm going to punch out 3 leaves, and then I'm just going to tear that off so I can get the last one to slide in. And then we're going to take our stamp that kind of has the veins of the leaf to use with some Mossy Meadow on our leaves. So we'll open this back up, and we'll just give that a quick little stamp there, and it just makes those leaves come alive. They kind of looked like leaves before, but you add the little details and it makes all the difference. All right, now we can start to assemble our card. And I have some dimensionals here, but I don't know if I have enough. Let's bring this back in. I'm going to get rid of that because we don't need that anymore. Okay, so I'm going to put maybe 2 kind of down this direction. And I think, oh, maybe I have to bring this back up because I do want a little more of the golden glow on my leaves. So like I said, this is dry, and I can go back and add some more. So it's just kind of that time when maybe the leaves are just starting to turn, which that will be here before we know it. If you live in an area where your leaves turn. I'm in Nebraska, so I love it when we have a fall that has warm days and cool nights, because that's what it takes to get those trees to be really beautiful. All right, so I'm going to put 2 going down, and then in this stamp set, let's see, here's my stamp set. I'm going to use this sentiment here that says a little something to say hello. Is that what I used? No, I used I'm grateful for your kindness. So we're going to make this a little thank you card. And I'm going to stamp that on this very vanilla. And then I'm going to use my Merriest tags, and I'm going to use this one that has the little banner end, and we're going to go ahead and put that through our cut and emboss machine. And then by the magic of TV, we have our tag already cut out. And this time I don't really want it to be a tag, so what I'm going to do is bring my cutting board in here. And I love our cutting board because it has this track, and you can, line things up and see exactly where that's going to cut. I'm just going to cut this part off. I'll just double check. And we make our little slice, and now we just have a regular sentiment, little sentiment die, and it's not a tag anymore. So, there is lots of ways that you can, use all these items. Now, let's see. I need some dimensionals. So I'm going to grab some of those, and I'm going to start with our leaves. Put a few of them behind. And this technique, it's kind of fun because it turns out different every time. I mean, it's kind of hard to get the same color, every time, but that's what's nice about it. And I use it when I want something softer. I didn't want the Mossy Meadow cardstock to punch them out. And, but this kind of gives it just that bright softness. All right, let's see. We're going to put dimensionals behind this one. And then we'll see what we think. Do we want, maybe that one, we'll put this one flat, this one on dimensionals, and then we'll stick that one up on dimensionals. And then when I'm looking at this, if we do this one flat, these are up on dimensionals, so I'm going to have to add another dimensional on top of these two, because this part is on something that already is popped up and this is not, so then it's going to lay much nicer and evenly. All right, so we're ready to go ahead and take off. Oh boy, where is my pick tool? Ah, I love my pick tool for taking the backs off of these. Oh, I know. I think I saw it somewhere. I was cleaning up and starting over because I was creating today. And, you know, sometimes do you ever get where you just have, you get that creativity going and you don't want to stop to clean up and you just get a mess, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I have to stop because it's out of control. I can't find anything. It happens to me quite a bit, but okay, I think I like that. So we're going to put this one flat. So I'm going to use some glue, some of our liquid glue. Some people call it green glue. How many out there like the green glue versus the adhesive runner? I never liked it at first, but I have come to like it, and I use it quite a bit. It's very economical. Okay, we'll line this up so it just goes past. Let's see if that's even. Okay, we're going to peel these off. And then I'm going to show you a ribbon that I'm going to put on here that is coming out in our September to December catalog. I love gingham. So this is Mossy Meadow and Very Vanilla. I think it's 4th inch. Let's see. 4th inch. And it just kind of has that little checkered, and there's kind of a little ruffled edge. So I'm going to take some of this and just tie a little bow. I like to do bunny ears where I take 2 loops, cross them, bring one down through the hole, and I love this technique because it turns out perfect every time. And then you can pull these and make them bigger or smaller. You can just figure out the size of your bow. I'll pull this one a little bit tighter. There we go. And then I'm going to use my ribbon scissors, and I'm going to add that bow right on the side here. I think that just kind of helps finish that edge off. And we'll use a glue dot. Let's see which way. This way. A glue dot to adhere that. And then we could just leave it like that, but I do have some of our, I think these are called Moody Palette Glossy Dots. And I thought the old olive ones would look nice on there. So, oh boy, really wish I had my pick tool. I have an extender here, the piece that goes in it from another one. I'm going to use that because I like to use that to pick up my dots. And I'm just going to add kind of 3 small ones. These have 2 sizes of each color. And I'm going to put my 2 end ones, and then I find it a little easier to place that middle one in the center, more so than if I just put the one down. Oh, but it's not. Oh, did I not pick up the, there we go. And I just added those little 3 dots, and then that's it. And we could write a note in here. We can stamp another greeting when we're ready to send that off. And voila, you have a quick and easy card. So I hope you enjoyed that. On Sunday, I'm going to do another one with this, but I'm not using the blender brushes. It's kind of a fun card. And then that will conclude my lovely leaves for this week. And then we'll start a new bundle the following week. So I hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon on Sunday. If you're not on my email list, I will put a link in the comments to join. I have some things going on. I have some kits to go. I'm going to be having a catalog kickoff workshop at my house. And don't fret if you don't live in Omaha, in the Omaha area. I'm also going to come up with a kit to go from that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to even do a hands-on with the hot foil, our new hot foil system. So I'm so excited about it. All right, have a great evening, and I'll talk to you on Sunday. Bye for now.